You're listening to Curated Consciously, your all-in-one platform for navigating and nurturing your conscious living journey. Why? Because diving into environmental justice comes with heartache and a lot of damn work. We gotta do it, but as a community, we can make the load a little lighter. Every week, we're bringing you stories, insight, and wisdom from a diverse community of leaders, activists, and influencers, helping you live a more holistic lifestyle that connects your health, wellness, and love for Mama Earth. This podcast is sponsored by Cause Artists, the world's #1 platform for social impact and innovation stories around the world. If you're looking to get inspired, hit us up at causeartist.com. And of course, I'm your host, Jazzmine Raine, Curator-in-Chief at Curated Consciously and social entrepreneur. You can connect with me in our community on Instagram at Curated Consciously. Now, roll your shoulders back, get comfy, put the coffee on. It is time to deep dive into some thought-evoking conversation, Curated Consciously. Conscious living has been defined as this way of life that just seems so inaccessible, unaffordable, and needing so much of your time and energy to really cultivate a lifestyle that aligns with your values and what you'd like to see reflected in the world. But in reality, in order to achieve that, conscious living is really about slowing down, inconveniencing yourself a little, cooking dinner versus constantly taking out, a little DIY here or there, taking control of your daily routines to actually cultivate connection between your body, mind, and soul. This is why I've decided to launch the Curated Consciously podcast. At the beginning of the pandemic, as all of us, we finally, we were forced to take a pause. We were totally forced to take a pause as the world just threw humanity to a halt. And in this time of reflection and needing to slow down, needing to absorb what was happening around us, all of the little things in our life that we weren't, expressing gratitude towards, or just taking a moment to realize how abundant our lives are, and obviously that can look very different for everybody. I've never been the person who is financially abundant, but I've always been the person who's been abundant in having incredible connections, these incredible people in my life, my family, my puppy that I actually got during quarantine, starting to really connect deeper with what brings us joy, what purpose we're on this planet for. And honestly, during this time, also to dive deeper into the shit. There has been so much shit that has been just dug up from the center of our universe and just thrown at us in every direction, so that we can finally realize that we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do on an individual level. We have a lot of work to do as our intimate communities, in our greater communities, and in general as global citizens. I mean, just look at the last 5 months, what we have experienced. And I'm recording this on August 22nd, 2020. So, okay. So, 5 months ago, we got a global pandemic that takes over the world. We see this uprising in just intense systemic racism against Asian communities. We see a massive uprising for the need for equality and to end police brutality and give diverse BIPOC voices a platform to actually be heard and understood and given the opportunity that they deserve. We've also seen a massive, massive rise in domestic violence and this fear for women and men to be at home during this time with family that does not honor them in this safe space that they should be given, that they deserve. And now these are just a few things that I can name, and really reflecting on, what a shit show of a roller coaster this year has been. And, being so grateful for my community and being able to connect with my incredible friends and mentors and colleagues and my team to, make sure that everyone was taking that pause, was taking the time to really look inwards, because that is where the answers are. We need to stop looking outwards for the answers that we need in our lives. Abundance comes from within. Connection comes from within. And, I know I probably sound like such a nut saying all of this, but I mean, I have, I've struggled with spirituality my entire life. I have struggled with finding interconnection. I still struggle with it. And no one is perfect in this journey. It is a continuous, ongoing journey. But something I did recently, actually, this past week, I did this incredible abundance and healing course, kind of workshop. This course was all about kind of diving into our ancestral stories and understanding kind of like, what stories have we been told by our ancestors, by our intimate family, that makes us feel like we don't deserve, or that we're not worth something, or, that why we always look to things like money, why capitalism seems to always define us. And as I dove deeper into this course, I really started to answer a lot of questions that I've been, that I haven't really been fully honest with myself about. I've definitely asked the questions, but maybe didn't dive deeper. And honestly, during the process, I actually felt so silly diving deeper into my spirituality, and just feeling like, oh God, like, am I really gonna be able to do this visualization? Like, can I actually close my eyes and meditate for more than 5 minutes without like scratching my face? And, as I was going through the course, I realized like, holy shit, I really needed this. And it just gave me even more oomph to really dive into this podcast, because this podcast is all about getting into the shit. So if you're coming over from Impact India, first of all, thank you for following along on, Jazzmine's journey of 101 entrepreneurial projects. But I just want to note that this is a whole other space. This is a personal, intimate, safe space where we're going to be diving deep into things that make us very, very uncomfortable. There's going to be a lot of cursing, so please mind your ears. I've always had a trucker mouth, even as a conscious woman. This is going to be a space to hear from very, very diverse individuals who I have always looked up to for seeking guidance, seeking knowledge, seeking wisdom to dive deeper into this conscious living journey. Because when I like to define conscious living, it's not just about how you buy products. It's not just about your buying decisions. It's not just about the choices you're making in your household. We're going to be diving deeper into what it means to live consciously by creating, or not creating, by understanding and clarifying what your values are and the kind of life that you want to manifest, and how that connects to the energy of the world. So, like, I know I'm talking a little bit like fluffy here, but what I mean is like, how do the actions, the thoughts, the information, the wisdom that we instill into, our partners, our children, our family, our friends, how does that support a sustainable world? How does that create localized, thriving economies? How does it conquer social injustices and provide equal opportunity to all that are so deserving? How does it nurture our Mother Earth and make sure that all of us are making decisions and fighting and advocating for what we believe is right for preserving this planet? Because again, humans, we are a speck of a second on the history of this planet. And, we do not deserve the goodness, the fertility, the joy, the energy that this world gives us. So how do we continue to nurture it? And then on top of that, and it's a big year. I mean, I know I'm based in India, but we're all following what's popping over in America. You guys have an election year. How do we ensure that we are making decisions that foster a strong, sustainable, equal, diverse, inclusive system, so that we can believe in our politicians. We can feel honored to be represented by them. we can actually feel represented by them. And, that's why this space is going to be for all of us to dive deeper, to really clarify, to understand, to identify, to connect, to manifest what the fuck we deserve. We have been living in an oppressive white supremacist system for so long. And it's time to break that cycle. We deserve better. And we, as the people, have the power to make it better by really diving into the connection that we have to all of the moving parts around us in this universe, and diving deeper into the intersectionality between humanity and the planet. So I'm really, really excited to finally have this very vulnerable space to share with you all. Expect a lot of returning guests from incredible people in my community who just are absolutely phenomenal. Expect some incredibly inspiring activists and educators, facilitators, and honestly, just even everyday people with just such a beautiful perspective to share. That being said, as you're listening to this, if you're like, fuck, Jazz, I need to be on this podcast. I have so much to share. Or like, Jazz, I know exactly who you need to be chatting with. Hit me up. You can always connect with me at hello@curatedconsciously.co or on Instagram @curatedconsciously. And personally, I'm just at Jazzmine Raine. Just hit me up. I'll make sure all of those details are in the show notes. Again, I want to send a huge ball of loving energy over to my Cause Artist team, to Grant for always supporting me and helping get this incredible partnered podcast up on the platform between Cause Artist and Curated Consciously, the little sister arm of this incredible social impact platform. And of course, to keep the conversation flowing, if you want to stay connected with our community, dive deeper into the topics that we're covering in each episode, join our Facebook group, Conscious Badasses, over on Curated Consciously. So I'll include all of those in the show notes always, so you can always just click through, join us, join into the conversation, get vulnerable, get deep, get uncomfortable, get excited, get motivated, inspired to really move forward in your journey. This is our nurturing space. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening and reflecting, absorbing, taking this all in. I am so, so thrilled to Cause Artist, to Grant for having this space, for allowing my trucker mouth to come through, and to finally have this space where, we can just chat, we can talk, we can have the conversations that are hard to have with our intimate community. It is challenging for us to dive deeper into this together because honestly, we're all feeling like, am I doing enough? How do I get more involved? How do I take my journey forward? So once again, you are invited into these conversations. You are invited to continue these conversations. Join us on the Conscious Badasses Facebook page. Hit us up at curatedconsciously.co. Email me if you want to chat more, hello@curatedconsciously.co. And of course, on Instagram @curatedconsciously. We made it so easy to get in touch with us across all platforms. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for doing the work to dive deeper. Thank you for being part of this vulnerable space with me. And I hope you have an incredible and blessed day. It can be so overwhelming trying to find and choose the right products that align with your conscious living values. Often there's too many to choose from, or just not enough transparency of the ingredients and materials being used, let alone the people behind the brand and how they actually treat their people. The Curated Consciously subscription makes conscious buying decisions that much easier by having our team source and vet conscious brands across India so you can receive curated products every month right to your doorstep. Starting at just $6.99 INR per month, start swapping out those toxic-infused bullshit products with sustainably and responsibly sourced products by ethical brands in India. Support the future of India. Support local entrepreneurs. Jump over to curatedconsciously.co/subscribe to learn more.